See, the issues that I'm having here are really throwing me off because I've never had these technical difficulties before, but we're going to work with it. I am here in Oregon right now, and I am visiting with family, and they've been so gracious enough to allow me this space in their home to record in while I am doing my tutorial. There's my husband right back there in the corner. He's helping me with the live stream. So if you are talking in the chat at all, he's going to be assisting me with that as I'm working around all this. So I apologize if you went to the last live stream and there was no video. We're working with this right now. Okay, so welcome everybody. So great to see you. And I'm going to be doing the best I can to get you those pop-ups of information. So you got me, you know I got you, and together we will get through this. This is a really fun tutorial. If you're here, we are making the Orange Cream Washcloth right here, and to be honest, I actually stumbled upon this pattern by mistake. I was going through some washcloth patterns because I was like, you know what, I think it's time to do a washcloth pattern. And I'm gonna set you up here real quick so I'm not shaking. There we go, there we go. Okay, and I was messing with some patterns and I ended up just kind of coming upon this pattern. I was like, that's really pretty. I really am liking this a lot, and I really want to show this to you guys on how I did it. So if you are just brand new to my channel, you've never met me before, my name is Tiffany Hansen, and if you like the content that I show you, if you're enjoying this live stream, you might also like my other videos. Also subscribe to my channel, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I try to release a brand new video every Friday, and I cover a lot of different content, but it's all crochet related, how to crochet many different things, tips and tricks on things, and also fun giveaways, so much more. You're not gonna wanna miss out. So make sure you subscribe, and also check out my Instagram, because I have a lot of the behind the scenes things that I have going on, tutorial sneak peeks, things that I'm working on, and other just kind of what's Tiffany like behind the camera, all on my Instagram. So check me out over there. That would be a lot of fun. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the tutorial. I am going to let my husband kind of run the stream. So if you have any questions at all, make sure you pop them in there, and he's going to record them for me. And then after the tutorial, we're doing a live Q&A where I am going to answer your questions and have that engagement with you. And I really love this part of the whole live tutorial, is being able to interact with you. And I mean, you have my attention right now. I'm here with you live right now, and I think that is just so special. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right into the materials that you need to make the Orange Cream Crochet Washcloth. I'm going to just flip the camera. Look, you got like a full view. Okay, so I used Lily's Sugar and Cream 100% cotton yarn in the color Soleil Ombre, and I was able to make 2 of these washcloths with just 1 skein of the super size here. So let me see if I can get you the other info. Here it is. Okay, so here's how much yarn is in 1 skein right there. 4 ply, there we go. So hopefully you get all the information you need right there. I used a crochet hook size G6 or 4.00 millimeter crochet hook. If your G6 comes up as a 4.25 millimeter, it's fine. There's not going to be enough of a difference for it to matter. A pair of scissors and a yarn needle or tapestry needle to finish off the projects and weave in those ends at the end of the project. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right in to how I did this washcloth. Okay, so you're going to start here. There we go. Take that away. You're going to start by chaining 30. Okay, question, can I blend cotton, or does it have to be 100% cotton? Just know it's gonna get wet, okay? The whole point of the washcloth is that it's gonna be in water. So if you have a cotton blend, it should be okay. Just be cautious on what it's blended with. And if that mutual fiber is water friendly, if that makes any sense. Okay, so great question though. Okay, we start by chaining 30. So bear with me as I get through 30 chains, because again, this is live, so you're seeing the painstaking process of me getting from row to row. Actually, this pattern can be worked in any multiple of stitches, okay? So you can make this as small or as big as you want it to be. You just chain your foundation row however many chains you want to make it, really, +1 for the turning chain. So because of this being a live tutorial, I'm just going to do a smaller swatch so I can get through the instructions faster for you. So I'll just do 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. All right, so let me come back to the instructions, try to get these. For the washcloth that I made, I chained 30. And then for row 1, see if, row 1. Okay, slip stitch in the second chain and in each chain across for a total of 29 stitches. See, I'll get words on this screen for you somehow or another. Does the yarn need to be, oh, I already answered that question, but thank you very much. Hi, Steffi. All right, so for row 1, we're gonna skip the first chain and we're going to slip stitch in the second chain from our crochet hook. For me, I like to have, when I'm looking at my V-stitches, I like to have 2 loops on the top, 1 on the bottom. Some people like to have 1 loop on the top, 2 loops on the bottom. This is completely personal preference. Work with whatever you are comfortable working off of the foundation row, okay? So, oh, I'm glad you caught me live too. So good to see you. All right, so slip stitching. So that means I yarn over, pull through, and then I pull that loop straight through the loop on my crochet hook. Next chain, insert crochet hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull straight through the loop on my crochet hook. And that is row 1. We're just making 1 slip stitch in each chain all the way across. So the thing with this pattern is all the stitches are super simple. It's just slip stitches and single crochet stitches. What you will see though is we're going to be working in the front loops or back loops of the stitches here in a second. And that is where I think newbies are going to be like, what? But I got you. I got you. Okay, great. So last stitch here and done. Okay, so for row 2, let me pull that up for you. Okay, coming over here. Okay, row 2, you will chain 1, you will turn, and then you will single crochet in the back loops only of each stitch across. You will count a total of 29 stitches for this washcloth. Okay, so going back to my little demo. So if you hear little children, my little nephews are about, and they may pop into the video, so just be aware. Okay, so chaining 1, turning our work. Okay, so you're gonna see this, and you may be like, that is a lot of stuff going on, Tiffany. Where am I putting my crochet hook? So I want you to actually turn it to the top. Okay, so here's what you're looking at. Rotate it to the top so you're seeing all these V's. See the V's? V, V. And we will make a single crochet stitch in the back loop only of each stitch across. So if I come to the very first V right here, I'm going to take my crochet hook, place it inside the V, only go the back loop only, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and that's it. Okay, so next stitch, looking at the top, looking at that V, insert, back loop only, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Okay, so I think the big thing that's going to help you out here is also counting your stitches, just to make sure that You're staying on track here. You should have a total of 29 stitches for you if you're making my washcloth. So again, V, back loop only. There we go. All right, let's get through row 2 together. Hi, Renee. Sorry, when I am trying to fill time, I end up singing. Yes, my husband's the best. I appreciate him bearing with me and helping me out with this. All right, very cool. I missed the very beginning. Is this cotton yarn? Yes, it is. It's 100% cotton yarn. I like to use 100% cotton yarns with my washcloths just because they work the best with water. All right, so at the end of row 2, this is going to be what you're looking at. There we go. Perfect. All right, let's move on to row 3. All right, so instructions for row 3 here. So we're going to chain 1. We're going to turn, and then we're going to slip stitch in the front loop only of each stitch across. Again, sticking with that 29 stitches. So let me show you how that will look. We're going to chain 1. We're going to turn our work. This is what we're looking at. We're going to slip stitch in the front loop only. So again, let's look at the top of the stitches where we see those beautiful V's. See those beautiful V's? We're going to take our crochet hook. We're going to come from the front of the work. Use that claw, use that hook, and go underneath that front loop only, leaving that back loop alone. We ignore that back loop, okay? Then we're going to yarn over, pull through, and pull all the way through for a slip stitch. All right, so next stitch here. Looking at the top of my work, finding that next V, taking my claw, going from the front of the work, picking up just that front loop, and slip stitch. Now, it's important that you do pick up from the front and not come in the top and just go through the front loop because it'll look completely different, okay? So you definitely want to go from the front in and then slip stitch. And it creates this really pretty, just random look. I mean, we're using the simplest basic crochet stitches with the slip stitch and with the single crochet stitch. It's just a matter of playing with the positioning of it being either in a front loop or a back loop that changes the game. It's amazing what you can do with crochet, keeping it simple and just changing it up. And this is where I was playing around and just kind of stumbled upon this pattern. All right, so last stitch here. Perfect. Okay, so once you've reached the end of row 3, this is what you're looking at. If I turn it over, that's what I'm looking at. Okay, so literally for this pattern, over here, all you do is you repeat row 2 and row 3 through the end of row 28, okay? So we are just repeating, so row 2, as a reminder, was to chain 1, turn, and then single crochet in the back loops only of each stitch across. And then row 3, there you go, is to chain 1, turn, and to slip stitch in the front loop only of each stitch across. Okay, so it's just that repeat back and forth, back and forth. I'm gonna go ahead, I already made an example of getting to row 28, so let's go ahead and just jump to what you do when you've reached the end of row 28. This is called being prepared, especially for a live stream. Okay. I know, right? Sounds easy enough, Steffi? For sure. But it's just a matter of, yeah, playing with that front and back loops. I think that is going to be the part for newbies to really kind of pay attention to. Okay, so when we get to the end of row 28, this is what we're looking at. Here, let me... the pattern just turned out really pretty. I was really surprised, pleasantly surprised. And then the back has so much texture. There we go. Okay, so when it comes to after row 28, we start working on the border of the washcloth to really clean up the sides and make it look finished. So let me show you the... Okay, so I'm going to show you the instructions just so you have something written down. But border row 1, you're going to chain 1, turn, and then single crochet underneath both loops in each stitch across. So let's do that. Okay, so I chain 1. I don't cut my yarn, I don't end, I just continue on. And I will make 1 single crochet stitch. So I'm going to go in the front underneath both loops. In each stitch across. Aw, thank you, Karen. Yeah, he's being really awesome right now, for sure. Okay. That is my little nephew Sawyer. He's so cute. Okay. Get to that first corner, because I know it's the sides of the work that people want to see me work. Okay, so in the very last stitch here, this would be stitch 29, or it's the corner stitch. You're going to make 3 single crochet stitches in this stitch. The first single crochet stitch counts as the last stitch for this side. The second single crochet stitch counts as your turning chain to get you to the next side. And then the third single crochet stitch counts as actually your first single crochet stitch for this new side, okay? So for the side of our work, we are going to work 1 single crochet stitch in the side of each row. You should have a total of 28 single crochet stitches because we made 28 rows. This first single crochet stitch, or the third one of the 3, counts as your first single crochet stitch of this side. So 1, and then if you need to pull your work to see the stitches, that will help. Or on this side of the work, you got the peaks and valleys. So you'll do a single crochet stitch in the valley and a single crochet stitch in the peak, sorry. And then a single crochet stitch in the valley and a single crochet stitch in the peak. So here we go. So valley and peak. And valley and peak. There we go. Let me get through this side. Oh, I forgot, people don't like music. I'll try to stop humming and singing. Just such a long step. There we go. Okay. And the only reason why I'm going through this whole side, this longer side step process with you is because this was already prepped and ready to go. Okay, and then last row, last side. So I should have a total of 28 single crochet stitches down the side here. In this last row, I'm gonna make 3 single crochet stitches to get around that corner. I'm not going to crochet over this tail. I'm actually gonna move the tail forward. I want to just take my yarn needle and weave that in for a stronger, more secure hold at the end of the project. Okay, now we're at the bottom of the work. At the bottom of the work, we are going to make 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch. Now, depending on where you're looking here or where you're grabbing, I like to grab over. So it's deeper into the row. I'm not gonna grab off the foundation row because that just makes it really, it's not as strong of a hold. Now we made 29 stitches, so including that 3rd single crochet stitch, you should have a total of 29 stitches across the bottom here. I swear the foundation row of your border, whether it's on a blanket or a washcloth or anything you make, the foundation row, row 1, is always the trickiest, but the most important because it sets you up. Hi, Hooked by Suze. Oopsie. There we go. All right. There we go. Almost there. Okay. Okay, last stitch here, we're making 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we are on the last side of our work, and we're gonna work this side the exact same way we worked the other side, making 1 single crochet stitch in the side of each row. Again, those valleys and peaks, it's a great way to kind of judge where you're putting your crochet hook. But you should also end with a total of 28 single crochets along the side, starting with that 3rd single crochet of the corner. So 1, then 2. All right, so I want to make my way up this 4th side because the 4th corner is honestly the only different one, the one that I really want to bring the most attention to, because it's where I think people, that's definitely the corner that people will have the most questions on. Bear with me, guys. You guys are troopers for hanging in there. I appreciate you so much. Okay, coming up on the last corner. Okay, so this is the last row of the last side. And if you look, there's actually already a single crochet stitch in this corner space because it's the very first single crochet stitch that we started with. So in corner number 4, we only make 2 single crochet stitches to satisfy the 3 single crochet corner quota. 1, 2. And then we finish off or close up row 1 by slip stitching into the top of that first single crochet stitch. Boom, and we are done. And that is row 1 of our border. You're done. Okay, I only do 1 more row for my border to clean it up. And what we will do is just, let me grab my yarn here. We'll chain 1 single crochet in the same stitch that we just slip stitched into. Make 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch all the way across. In your corner 3, you'll see the corner, you'll be like 1, 2, 3. Looking at that middle second single crochet stitch, that is your new corner, and that is where you're going to make 3 single crochet stitches, okay? And then you continue on, making 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch all the way across. Next corner, looking at the 3, find the second or middle single crochet stitch, and you're going to make 3 single crochet stitches in that stitch to get you around. Let me go ahead and pretend, okay, I'm gonna work with me here. I'm going to do something really weird to speed up the process, okay? Because I want to show you corner 4, because corner 4 is different. Do not do this at home. I am going to pretend that I've made my way all the way around the washcloth. Okay, so I'm gonna attach like right here. Okay, we're pretending that I made my way all the way around the washcloth. I'm coming upon corner number 4. Yeah, do not do that at home. Okay, so here is my corner 3 single crochet stitches. So in the first, I'm making 1 single crochet. In the second, I'm going to make 3 single crochets because that's what I want to do in that second single crochet stitch. 1, 2, 3, and then you will slip stitch into the top of the first single crochet stitch to close row 2. And that makes a very clean transition for that last corner right there. Okay, and then this is what you'll do. At the end of row 2 of your border, you will cut your yarn, leaving yourself enough slack or enough of a tail to weave in your ends at the end of the project. Then you will yarn over your tail, pull the tail through the loop on your crochet hook, pull tight, and that's tying off your work. And then the only thing you have left to do is weave in your ends, and your washcloth is done, and it'll look like this finished one that I have already, which is super pretty. Yeah, the mistake pattern that ended up looking really cool. So that is the Orange Cream Crochet Washcloth. Okay, so be honest with me, was that an okay explanation of the tutorial? Let me know in the chat, and if you are watching the replay of this video, let me know in the comment section below. And if anything needs more explanation, just let me know, and I will do my best to explain the process of how to do this washcloth. Though I tried to make it as beginner friendly as possible, because sometimes it feels so good to just have a really quick project to whip up and get out there, you know? So we have finished with the tutorial part of this video, I am now ready to do the Q&A session where I answer your questions. Now, if you do follow me on Instagram, I already asked a bunch of people this question, and I have some questions already front loaded for you. So I will go ahead and start with those, but if you have any questions for me right now, you can put those in the chat and I will answer those as well. So question number 1 was from Tammy, and this was actually an email. She asked me to define the chain 1 space and how to work it. So let me help you out. Let me work something up real quick for you. So I can totally understand why just being told a chain, like how to work a chain 1 space, how that would be confusing. Like, where do I put my crochet hook here? So let me create a little something real fast so I can explain it. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna flip the camera. Ugh. Okay, so let's say that the pattern you were working says to single crochet in the first one. This is totally just an example. And then chain 1, skip 1, which means skip a stitch, and then single crochet in the next stitch space. And then chain 1, skip 1, single crochet. Okay, and then you'll always single crochet in the last stitch. So we'll do that. Chain 1 and turn. Okay, so when you are working, oh, pattern for people, yes, it is already on my Etsy shop, and I do have, as soon as this video is over, I had all the descriptions and all the links in my last one that kind of didn't work. So as soon as this video is over, I will have the link to the pattern for the Orange Cream Washcloth in that description section where you can just click on that, okay? Okay, so, all right, so single crochet. Now it wants us to define the chain 1 space and how to work it. So if it says make a single crochet stitch in the chain 1 space, so this would be the chain 1 space where I chained 1, skipped 1, and now it left a big hole. What I do is I take my crochet hook and I will go underneath the chain space, underneath it in that hole, and then I will work around the chain space. Single crochet, and in the next chain 1 space, I will work around the chain to do my stitch. All right. If they want you to work in the chain, they generally specify work in the chain, and that means, so here's that chain space. That means you'll look for the top of the chain where it has the V-stitch, and then you'll work in the V-stitch. And it'll look like that. Okay, so that is how you will work a chain 1 space. And again, I usually just go around the chain. It will specify, or it should specify, if they want you to work in the chain, okay? So hopefully that helped and answered your question, Tammy. Next question that I have, it's from Sammy from Instagram, and she said, what is your favorite project to make for the holiday season and what type of yarn? Really, it depends on the person. I like to make all sorts of projects because I get bored if I make the same thing too much. I need to shake it up. I need to make something different. So I like to, and I also think of the person that I'm making it for. If I want to make a beanie or a scarf or a cowl, or fingerless gloves, just knowing, is that person going to wear them? Are they going to enjoy them? Or is a blanket more appropriate? I know blankets are nice because you just kind of, depending on the pattern, it can be repetitive and really relaxing and therapeutic to just create. But I am a big fan of stuffies too. I like to make stuffed animals for kids because they go crazy over them. They really enjoy those. So I enjoy making stuffies. I'm all over the place, so I can't really answer that question too specifically. And the type of yarn also depends on the project. If I'm making a blanket, I'm probably going to go with a bulkier yarn because it whips up the blanket faster. Whereas if I'm making a scarf or a beanie. If I want it to have a lot of detail, then I will choose a thinner yarn so you can see that detail more defined. And if I'm making a stuffy, I always use thinner, non-textured yarn because the stitches just look so clean. Okay, Sammy from Instagram, favorite project made for family or friend? It's hard. That one's hard. Because I think my favorite projects are for my nieces and nephews because I make them for them and I bestow the gift upon them and I'm like, here, I hope you like it. And then I don't see them very often. So then when I come back and I see them years later and they're still like, Auntie, remember this that you made me? I'm like, oh, oh, that's so sweet. I love that. Favorite thing made for a friend or family member? I made a head wrap for a friend of mine who has a favorite sports team. So I made it in sports colors and she would wear it to every game. And I thought that was so cool. So cool. All right. How to teach a new crocheter how to crochet and what yarn should they start with? Great question. So if you're teaching somebody how to crochet, think of it's like teaching somebody how to eat a sandwich. You know, you have to tell them the steps that you don't even realize you're doing because you're just going through motions and it becomes just second nature, right? So you have to remember, like, how do you eat a sandwich or how do you make a sandwich, you know, step. And even trying to change the perspective. Okay, so this is basically what you're doing, you know, you're basically just pulling yarn through a loop. You're pulling yarn through a loop. And if they can wrap their head around the basics, then all of the other stuff will just kind of fall into place with that, in the sense of the tension and the weirdness of both your hands doing something completely different, you know. So, and also remind them to be patient with themselves. A lot of people want to get it right away. They want to instantly dive. They don't want to know the basics. They want to dive straight into the project. And sometimes you can do that and sometimes you can't. You need those basics. So just remind them to be patient and it will come. Yarn that I would use a size 4 weight worsted medium Aran 10, 12 ply or 8 WPI sized yarn, depending where you live in the world. That is how you identify your yarn. I would use that because it just seems to be a nice neutral size, and I would try to stick with a 5mm or a size H crochet hook because it's bigger. It's big enough for them to see what they're doing, but not too big. I might even go a size I9. 5.5mm crochet hook. The bigger, the easier it is for them to know what they're doing. And tension, a lot of beginners instantly make their stitches super tight. It's just a thing that happens. And if they are using a bigger crochet hook, that can sometimes help with that situation. So, next question. Can you do a tutorial for a monkey and or an elephant? I want to make stuffed animal tutorials so bad. I know that right now for the holiday season, I am booked. I've already done a tutorial going over with you and even like getting you very much involved in what I'm going to be making. And so I already have my schedule loaded through the end of December, but starting January, I do think that next year I want to make a lot more stuffed animals because they're so much fun and they mean so much to the people you make them for. And they sell really well too. If you're somebody that likes to sell your crocheted items, stuffies in person, if you're doing a craft fair or a booth, they sell really well. So, and they're great baby gifts. Oh my gosh, if you are all about baby gifts, stuffed animal. Okay, I have been getting a lot of, this was a note to myself, I've been getting a lot of people reaching out to me on my social media, in my emails, and even in the comment section of a lot of my videos. They want to make gifts for their family or friends. They want to make blankets. And they're asking me, Tiffany, what yarn should I use? Which hook size should I use? What pattern should I use? And that is, it's really hard because it's all really what you want to make, what you can make, what you feel comfortable making, and the person too, like what you know the person, you know what they like, the colors they like, the textures they like. So do what you're comfortable with. I've created playlists to help you too. So if you need ideas, go to my YouTube channel. On the top, you'll see a bunch of options. It'll say videos and it'll say playlists. And I've created playlists for you. And I have a whole blankets videos. All my blanket videos go in this blanket tutorial playlist. Also, a lot of you are asking me questions about basics stuff, like what crochet hook should I use? How much yarn am I going to need for this project? What colors should I use? And I've actually made tutorials for all of those things. So if you go into my playlists, check out Crochet Basics, and I made it all in bold, Crochet Basics. And you'll find all the videos where I've shown you, and I have a video on how to pick out your crochet hook. I have a video on how much yarn you will need, or how to figure out how much yarn you will need. I have a video on pairing colors, what they do to your emotions, and even what looks best with each other. How to work multiple stitch counts if you're new to that, and even how many stitches am I going to need to make this blanket. So if you want to make that queen king sized huge blanket, that video is going to be great for you because it tells you blanket dimensions and how you can make sure you reach that blanket dimension. Cool. All right, so anything else? Oh, I had a question on Instagram. Somebody asked me, are you dropping all info about yarn choices? If that was you, sunflower in my next life, let me reach out to me again in social media and kind of define what you mean, because I read that and I wasn't sure what you meant about dropping all information about yarn choices. So give me a little bit more of an explanation of what you're asking there, and I would love to answer that question. All right, were there any other questions in the chat? No, you guys were just talking and chilling and like watching? That's really cool. Well, thank you guys so much for spending time with me today. I know, like, just depending on your time zone, it's 10 a.m. in Texas right now. It's 8 a.m. in Oregon right now where I am at, and I'm sure on the West Coast it's noon. And then if you're other places of the world, I've heard that it's like 1, 2 in the morning. So if that's you, you're the best. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Even if you're at work and you have me like on your phone in the corner of your office or something. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go and enjoy my vacation with my family right now, spending time just bonding with family and doing things. I hope you have the best day, guys, and I will see you with my next video. Bye.